So as you guys probably know, I draw quite a bit. It's kind of like the main theme of this channel if I had to give it one. I mean, I do some other stuff, but you know, I'm mostly a drawing guy, I would say. The point is, I'm not necessarily the only artist in my family. See, I got these little cousins, Crystal and Christian. They're about 7 and 6 years old, respectively, and they are little artists themselves, and they've drawn me some pictures, and I'm going to redraw them in my own style. Now, if you've been a longtime subscriber of the channel, you may know that I did a similar video to this years ago when I was redrawing one of my nephew's drawings. So this technically isn't the first of this little series, but it's been a long time since I've done something like this, and I think it would be fun to kind of do it again. So we're doing it again. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it, shall we? Let's start off with Christian's drawing. He has drawn me a pretty epic scene of Catnap from Poppy's Playtime fighting Siren Head. So that's pretty unique. I can't wait to see how this turns out. Here we go. So as mentioned before, this is very clearly a battle between Siren Head and Catnap from Poppy's Playtime. I mean, you didn't need me to tell you that. I feel like that was pretty obvious. But I am going to try to add a bit more detail to it, my own little personal touch. So I'm not sure what that big hump in the middle is there, but I'm going to pretend like it's trees. And I mean, it only makes sense for these guys to be fighting in the middle of a forest. In my head, you know, Siren Head chills out in the forest anyway, but then Catnap has like escaped the, you know, facility or the toy factory or whatever that he normally lives in. And, you know, while he's running around, he ends up finding Siren Head there, and something happens. I don't know, maybe one of them stole each other's Capri Sun or something, but they're getting into it. They're battling. It's like two awesome kaijus just going against each other. So I kind of had to put both of them in an attack pose. I modeled Catnaps after like a pouncing lion, and then Siren Head, he's screaming as he normally would, making the siren noises, but I don't know how much that's actually going to affect Catnap, so he's also going to hit him with a few swipes of his giant claws as well. I wasn't exactly sure how big each of these characters were supposed to be. I tried looking into it, and I really couldn't find like a clear answer on either. Catnap seems to vary in sizes, and I mean, Siren Head is same. It's pretty. He's tall, but so I kind of took a little bit of liberties with that one on their height. So I think the sketch looked pretty good, ended up outlining it, throwing in some shading and some like texture, make them look a little dirty. Both of them are looking pretty rough here. After I get that colored in, I'll work on the background. Again, I imagine them fighting in a giant forest. And, you know, if a battle like this is going on, it only makes sense for it to happen at night. I can't really see these guys battling in the middle of the day. I mean, I guess I could see it, but I imagine it's pretty cool at night. So I'm going to add some shading, of course. But then, yeah, I mean, this is pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Christian, I hope I made you pretty happy with how I drew your Siren Head versus Catnap drawing. Hopefully it's kind of what you imagined. I think this was a lot of fun to draw personally. I think these are two characters that I've honestly been meaning to draw for a while, and this gave me a perfect opportunity to. And there we have it, Catnap versus Siren Head. Not a matchup I personally would have thought of, but it was quite fun either way. So very good job, Christian, for coming up with this very unique idea. Let's move on to Chrislin's drawings. And notice, I said drawings. She may have went a little above and beyond with this and made a whole little 3-page short story. So let's go ahead and check out this little short story by Chrislin. There was an ugly witch who wanted to be beautiful, so she made a potion of all kinds of weird stuff. Frog urine, rabbit hair, and eye juice, and one single strand of princess hair. She mixed it all together and took off her hat and poured it on her head, while she said a spell. She then turned into a beautiful fairy. Okay. Now let's see what I can do with it. So I guess first things first, I'm going to go ahead and draw this witch here. I guess I'm going to make her look like a stereotypical Halloween witch because, I think they're kind of fun to draw and I don't see a need to get super creative with it. I mean, I could be wrong here, but that's just the way I'm playing it right now, okay? It did look to me like the original drawing had some like patchwork on the witch's clothing, so I'm definitely going to be sure to include that, maybe make it look a bit tattered. And she included frog urine, so I've got to have a frog in her hand because that frog just got done peeing in this potion, and I think that's hilarious. Got to add that big old cauldron with, of course, the feet that have the little claws and everything. I mean, that's just iconic in my opinion. I know she said hair of a rabbit, but I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of visible rabbit ears as well as a full eye. The eye juice, let's just say it secretes from the eye while it's in the potion. How about that? I'm going to go ahead and add like a little spell book here off to the side. Now, I noticed in this picture there's like another figure here that looked, at first I gave it a little smile, but I noticed it was looking surprised. So I started to make like a little voodoo doll type of situation, but then I got to thinking eventually, well, what if that's the princess? What if she like kidnapped the princess and then put her hair in the potion? Like, it had to be fresh. Like, she couldn't have picked it from like a hairbrush or something. Like, it had to be fresh princess hair. Then I got to thinking, what if the witch is wanting to become a beautiful fairy / princess because she wants to take over her spot in the kingdom? Like, she wants to start ruling in this princess's place. So I thought that was a pretty neat idea. It seems like something that an evil witch might do. So I took that and I ran with it. And yeah, I know my princess looks very reminiscent of Princess Peach. I'm sorry. I mean, I've been a long time Mario fan. How can I think of Princess with not thinking Princess Peach in my situation? Anyway, the witch is, of course, dumping the potion on her head, and then I started to draw her as a new princess, but I didn't want her to be an exact copy. I wanted her to look kind of like a dark version. Also, I felt like the rabbit ears would kind of make a cool reappearance here, so that's like one of the side effects of the potion. She just has those. Like, obviously, it's a dead giveaway that the real princess doesn't have the rabbit ears, but I wanted to run with it anyway because I thought it made it look kind of cool, so we're going with it. I wanted to kind of include a little bit of patchwork in the witch's princess dress as well, so I tried to make that look good. I mean, obviously it doesn't make a lot of sense that her clothing would change either, but you know what? It's magic. It's not supposed to really make sense. If you're applying too many rules to it, you're not having enough fun here, okay? Now, I did notice on Chrysaline's drawing that there was these pretty cool spiky boots on the new fairy witch princess figure, so I wanted to include those as well and make her look pretty punk, I guess I could say. So yeah, she's got like this cool emo punk princess vibe going, and the regular princess is just in the background terrified at this point. Then I, of course, go in and add the line work to everything, give it a little bit of shading, and I make a few final last-minute touch-ups that I decide are going to be good. Throw on a background, and I'm not going to bore you and talk over this whole thing, so just enjoy the time-lapse for a little bit.
Slept, I need a rest, yeah, I know best. I'm picking my poison and I've been treating my wounds. It's treating me feebly and it's picking at you like a drown in a dim.
Okay, so without spoiling everything on the time lapse, this is how my redrawing of Chrysaline's short story turned out. There was an ugly witch who wanted to be beautiful. So she made a potion of all kinds of weird stuff. Frog urine, rabbit hair, and eye juice, and one single strand of princess hair. She mixed it all together and took off her hat and poured it on her head while she said a spell. And then she turned into a beautiful fairy. Alright, yeah, again, not a concept I personally would have come up with, but I'm incredibly honored to have redrawn it in my style, and I'm super proud of her for coming up with this herself. I was about her age, maybe a little older. I was in like 2nd grade when I started coming up with my own original short stories. This seems like a good time to bring up on the channel for the first time, I believe. Action Fox, my very first OC or original character. He is a fox that would fight crime, and when he wasn't fighting crime, just try to live a normal teenage life. But yeah, anyway, I really like Action Fox, and even a few years ago, I tried to like revitalize it as like a webtoon series, like a webcomic on, you know, the webcomic site Webtoons. You guys know, you're internet people. And though the formatting of the comic and everything definitely could have been better, like I was really new to creating digital internet content at that point, I think the story holds up pretty good. And if I do say so myself, I think there's still a lot of potential in Action Fox. If you're ever on Webtoons and cannot think of anything else to read, which there's a ton of stuff on there, so you'll probably find something else to read, feel free to check out Action Fox or any of my other old comics like Malcolm and Dave that I would upload to that. But I still think Action Fox could be a thing one day. And again, I'm super proud of Chrislyn for kind of coming up with her own little story, and I hope she continues to do so, and I hope Christian continues to pursue his art career, because these kids, they genuinely are like little artists. Like I've seen some of the drawings that Christian's done hanging up on my older cousin's wall, you know, her kids and everything, and I did not believe that he had drawn them at first. Like, I'll see if I can get her to send me a picture of this apple in particular. Oh my gosh. These kids got a future. They're going to surpass me before you know it. But yeah, I think this could potentially be a pretty cool little series. So if you guys have like your own art, or maybe like if you have a kid and they want to send their art, or if you got like little cousins yourselves, or nieces or nephews or anything like that, feel free to send them my way. If people like to watch this, again, this could kind of turn into its own little series. I will happily redraw your art and you know, maybe make a video out of it. So we'll see. Feel free to give the video a like. A thumbs up is always appreciated. Feel free to subscribe, become a member of the Lemon Squid Squad. Cannot believe I have not thought of that sooner. The Lemon Squid Squad? The Lemon Squad? Maybe. We'll work on it. But yeah, feel free to subscribe. Thank you again so much for watching. Leave a comment letting me know your thoughts. Should I keep this series going or just stop it in its tracks? If you do want to send me your art for me to redraw, if I do make another episode of this series, my Instagram, which is probably the best way to get a hold of me, is @thelemonsquid. And my email is lemonsquidcomics@gmail.com. So either one of those will be a pretty efficient way of, you know, reaching out to me. But yeah, other than that, that's all I got for you guys today. I appreciate you so much for watching. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Stay creative. See you guys next time. Goodbye.